Elliot here from the Bear Pit TV for an episode of the Bear Pit Pod, the Bear Pit TV podcast.
Bear Pit Pod.
Fourth episode. Yeah. This time we've got Flav on from the Fighting Cock, Spurs fanzine, podcasts, everything, live shows.
Do live shows, little kind of events that we put on that bring Spurs fans together in a place in Shoreditch. So that we can watch the game in peace without Arsenal fans getting in the way.
And it sounds like an idea we should definitely steal.
Yeah, 100%. I got invited to one of them by our friend James Alcott recently for the Man City game, but I couldn't make it because I was at Stoke Man United, but I heard it was a good night.
Mate, it was...
Flav asked me as well, I had the missus. So
madness.
I couldn't swindle take her
out
to
Tottenham.
Yeah, take her to a Tottenham
Tottenham
event.
It's not a Tottenham... I mean, it is a Tottenham event, very much so, but the actual experiences are intensified so that anyone who doesn't quite like football or is on the border, on the peripheries of falling into the trap that is football, it's great for that, because honestly the celebrations of the game against Man City when we come back from 2-0 down and didn't deserve it, it was just mayhem, absolute mayhem.
Yeah,
it was great. Yeah, but that's what the Fighting Cock is, fanzine, podcast, that kind of thing.
And of course you can find us on YouTube, SoundCloud, Acast, iTunes, all those places, which I forgot to mention at the start. We do this with every guest that we have, and this will be quite interesting to do with an opposition sort of guest.
Yeah,
we do first, best, worst Stoke memories. So what's the first thing you can remember about Stoke? Maybe when we came to the Premier League, or have you got anything before that?
Earlier than that, much earlier than that. My first memory was watching a derby between Port Vale and Stoke on Sky. Very early days. And the hatred, the fucking hate. Sorry, can I swear? The hatred between the two clubs, and I was fascinated by it, because one of the things I've always been fascinated in football is rivalry and hatred, and where that comes from.
Do you remember which game it was?
It must have been.
I remember.
Is there a ball guy? A ball guy who played for Port Vale. I'm pretty sure he scored. I'm talking about being 12 years old.
No, it was Liam Mills' ball. Because I remember the first ever game at the Britannia Stadium, Stoke's new ground, versus Vale, was on telly, on Sky.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Could have been that.
We won 2-1 or 2-0,
yeah.
I think.
You won in it, yeah.
Yeah, in 97 that was.
We haven't won many.
That sounds about right. Cause
I remember that one.
Yeah. And that's my earliest memory of Stoke, and being impressed by the rivalry and the ferocity there. And I was always like, I love it when, and forgive me, but when Stoke came into the Premier League, would have been considered a smaller club, now obviously established Premier League and well within their rights of finishing 9th every year. But I was kind of fearful, or at least in awe a little bit of the atmosphere that was at.
I'm proud of that still.
Yeah.
It was good.
It doesn't happen much anymore.
And I bet you like it more so because it really, really rubbed the Arsenal the wrong way, didn't it? Wenger hated
you love
it.
that.
Arsenal fans hated it.
I've got a little affinity with Stoke
because
of that. Because you lot hate them.
You love them.
I love the fact that you lot. I mean, I love the Shawcross Ramsey
Do you
stuff.
like Shawcross in general?
Yeah, why not? I mean, I'm not saying I am happy that he went out and broke another human being's leg, albeit unintentionally.
Well, I'm glad you said unintentionally, because Arsenal fans think he fucking went in there to snap him.
Yeah, but Arsenal fans are fucking plebs.
I think Flav's going to be well liked amongst the Stoke fans.
Going to go well
because of that last sentence.
He accuses of the Carlton thing, but we'll get on to that.
We'll move on.
So what is your best Stoke memory? This would be best for you.
Yeah, loads of them. We've done all right with
4-0s recently.
I would say Bale's sort of cross the body.
That is a fucking unreal goal, if I'm being honest.
Cross the body volley.
That was good.
I mean, I haven't seen a goal like that scored by Spurs since.
Yeah.
That would be my standout memory.
It's almost a pet hate of mine. Well, no, it is a pet hate of mine when, no matter how good the goal is, the opposition fans clap it. That does my head in.
Yeah.
And that was probably the closest I ever got to doing that.
Yeah.
But I didn't, because it's fucking a sin.
Yeah.
But I did think in my mind, fucking that was a good goal. The gritted teeth, I was wound up. It was a good goal.
Do you know, I had that same feeling when I went with Spurs to go and watch Dortmund at their place last year in the Europa League.
Yeah.
And they just smashed us. They annihilated us.
4-0?
3-0, but
3-0.
it should have been 8. They were brilliant.
Yeah.
And I found myself on the final whistle just going... just clapping, and just like everyone around me's just going like that. Sometimes football's a winner. I mean, I hated it every minute of it, and I don't even really like football that much. I love Tottenham, but
I've spoken to you before, and I've said this so many times on another podcast to do. Great touch for a big lad. I'll get that now. But
you always plug it, Craig.
You've got to, mate. Do what you can. But I've always said I'm a miles bigger Stoke fan than I'm a football fan. if that makes sense.
Completely.
I can easily not watch football if it's not Stoke. But when it is Stoke, that's all that matters.
I'm different to both of you. I watch everything and anything and everything.
I can easily turn stuff off.
So we did a podcast, the Long Ball Street podcast
earlier. Fucking hell. These plugs.
We asked if you had a choice, would you watch? If you had a choice, you can only ever watch games that your team are involved in, and not watch any other football, or you can watch all the football in your life but never Stoke.
Oh, you'd have to watch your own team.
If that is
if it comes to that.
Yeah.
If it comes to that. So what is your worst Stoke memory? So this is when we've beat you, I think.
Genuinely, I'm not trying to be arrogant, but I don't have any.
Bojan, when we scored when we beat you at White Hart Lane.
Did you?
Yeah.
Can I suggest something to you?
Go on.
Glenn Whelan.
Well, yeah, that's what I was going to say. Our second season up, we still weren't established. From memory, I went to White Hart Lane. I think fans will agree, battered us, and we somehow won 1-0. Whelan scored, who never scored.
Which would happen
in the
at that
88th
time.
minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
Glenn Whelan generally turns up against Sutton, which winds me up.
He's a good player, Glenn.
Yeah, he is. He's underrated, massively underrated.
Well said.
Yeah, and
I think some Stoke fans couldn't take note from that.
Really?
Because he doesn't get the credit he deserves.
He's a Marmite player.
But
He's
sometimes you look from, it's like Stephen Hunt. I always rated him at Reading.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. I always look at him like he's that prick who just turns up against you, and he's very difficult to play against. I would say there was a moment when we were 2-0 up last season at White Hart Lane.
When we came back.
Yeah, Arnautovic scored a penalty. He might have scored 2.
And then Juve got the header at the end.
The faintest of touches.
That's right.
That was the first ever Bear Pit TV game.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. So happy for you, but miserable for me because we were playing really well, and that everyone was well on the Pochettino bandwagon by then, and we were steamrolling pretty much. Won 4, and that would have been 5, I think, in the start to the season.
And in the wider context of your season, who knows what them extra 2 points may have galvanised you towards. Obviously, you lost the league by more than that, but you'd have been ahead of Arsenal for a start, and not to rub in. But yeah, it's just good to remember.
It was also nice.
Yeah, it was so nice.
I hate Arsenal as well. So I'm not
well,
that.
Fucking.
I don't know. Yeah.
Don't start wrapping cans around each other's heads. Of course, as we mentioned before, you do the Fighting Cock podcast.
Yeah.
This is only our 4th episode.
Yeah.
What tips can you give us? What do we need to be doing to become a big, massive, well-established, thousands of listeners podcast?
I don't know how much detail you want me to go into. I mean,
when we got
a lot of it's
not too much.
Yeah, a lot of it's stuff we can talk about offline. I think offline when we're not recording.
off air.
Off air, yeah. If ultimately it's about you. There's a lot of shit fan media out there, in my opinion, and I love the fact that fans are now getting an opportunity to speak and a platform of which they've created themselves to kind of rival the mainstream. So, but the best stuff is stuff that's authentic, that doesn't go seeking an audience, that is about Stoke. So if it was me doing what you're doing now, I'd just make sure that you get people on the podcast who are the right kind of Stoke fan.
Yeah.
That's what I would say, and I don't know what that is.
I know we've done that. Last episode was by Martin Smith, who runs the Oatcake, long time Stoke City fanzine and institution, and they feel like they're coming towards the end because of new media.
Yeah.
We had him on last week, and he was saying that it could be the end of the fanzine. Says he was the future at one point. We're now the future, and it was really we smashed the lessons. People really enjoyed it.
That's it.
I think exactly that.
That's it.
I think you're right. Yeah, 'cause it was. I wasn't on that one, but it was a great listen. The thing with Martin Smith is he's clearly a knowledgeable, well-informed Stoke fan. To be blunt, I know what you're saying, Flav. You don't go looking for them extreme views that get views, if that makes sense. Some nutter that's just screaming Hughes out because it gets 1,000 downloads and all that. You want someone that's logical, sensible, because that's what people come back for. That keeps it credible, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think ultimately the Fighting Cock has become popular mainly because of the chemistry between the people on it now. So there's only so much Tottenham people can take, and there's
that you can take.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. I mean, I get bored talking about Tottenham because part of my job is working in football as well. So it's you get a lot of it, but ultimately it's about the chemistry. It's about you two becoming like best mates.
We need to become best mates.
Best mates.
Well, you need some freeze ups. I know you're both in committed relationships, but when that ends, and they always end,
or if they end because of this, because of it,
then look. Ultimately, it's for your own professional gain, and hopefully they understand that. So that's my advice.
For this successful podcast, we've got to wreck your incoming marriage.
Yeah.
Oh shit! You getting married?
I'm engaged. Yeah.
Wow.
But I mean, yeah, advice is advice. You can't ignore that sort of gold, can you?
Ultimately, Craig, mate, I get other people make you happy.
Yeah.
But think how happy you can make yourself by having a
be more selfish.
Yeah.
Be more selfish.
Title of the podcast: The Beginning of Craig's Divorce.
yeah. Just
being married.
Chemistry's the main thing, and you, I mean, you built up the Bear Pit. You've done amazing stuff, and I love your channel. Even from a Spurs fan's perspective, you can admire the quality that you guys are putting out now, and you just carry on doing that. I think there's no real advice. Do you know what? I don't know the answer. We fluked it. We just came out when there was no other podcast, and 5 years later,
just smashed it.
But I agree with your base point, and I've been with Bear Pit now for I don't know, since the start of the season. And what I do like about it is, it feels credible. You're not looking for nutters for views.
We don't do fan cams.
It's credible.
The only fan cams we've started to do regularly with a regular person is a little lad, because
Dave.
Not Dave. A little lad called Sam who did
soccer.
I don't know if you might have seen the video because he went viral. He little mascot, and he was saying, "Oh, I'm glad we didn't sack you," to Mark Hughes.
No filter.
And then
to all the players.
He did everything to the players. He said to one of them, "You look better than you do on FIFA." He's called one of them a girl for having one of the wash bags.
Right.
And he's been on after a couple of games.
He went on Soccer M as well.
He went on
didn't
Soccer M. So he's come on after some games, and he's got he's doing
speaks
well.
a lot of sense. He's alright.
He does speak very well.
There is something fascinating about kids who understand football.
Exactly. I watched one last night. I know it's a highlight from a long time ago on Full Time Devils, and it's this little kid who's going, "This possession football will not work in the Premier League." Have you seen that video?
Yeah, it freaked me out. He understands football better than me.
Yeah. And he was what, 6, 7? I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't like him, but I like. He had too much of it.
I love that. Thin line, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like either his dad's fed in them lines, go on there and say that, or he knows too much. And if anyone, I don't trust anyone who knows too much.
But Sam we'll keep Sam on, but we don't get any nutters. We don't get any.
Yeah.
We don't. The craziest person we had was a guy who insisted on an interview after the Everton game, and he was wearing a bra.
I saw him. Yeah.
And that was probably the craziest.
I think. Look, I think that I can't remember. I mean, we'll be honest. What we're alluding to is Arsenal Fan TV and what they've done, right? So, I don't want to go into that subject, but most fan bases aren't full of people that want to talk in front of the camera. Most fan bases,
we'll struggle for fan cams after games.
Yeah, exactly. So you struggle, because Stoke are a certain type of football club. They're traditional. Northern, quite gritty and hard-working, built on working-class values.
Yeah.
It's a different thing to Arsenal.
You're right, you do get a lot of... When I tried originally, you do get quite a lot of, blokes in the mid-40s, 50s, like, I'm not going on that shit.
Yeah.
Do you know, all this crap.
Well, yeah,
you don't want
because you're fighting against something... Like, Arsenal Fan TV gets a lot of stick, a lot of stick, and they're famous for the fan cams that go viral every single week. But... there is a lot on there that doesn't get picked up by the media, which is opinion from
logical opinions.
Yeah. And no one picks up on it because it's not the story.
To be fair to Arsenal Fan TV, and it brings me on to sort of the next thing I want you to speak about, is they did they played Sutton last night.
Yeah.
And before the game kicked off, Robbie went. He spoke with the chairman. He spoke with a couple of the players, manager, and I thought they were really good pieces that no one else was doing ahead of the game. And that wasn't their usual stuff, but they won't get picked up for that.
Yeah.
There's no crazy people on there ranting about sack Wenger.
Well, those videos don't perform as well as the others. But
exactly.
Robbie, to his credit, that is work and effort. All of it has to be edited. All it has to be clipped. And I as much as I can, like an Arsenal fan, Robbie's among the better Arsenal fans I've ever met.
No, definitely.
And he's a hard-working
Robbie,
motherfucker.
No doubt helped us when we first started out. He got us into Bull Street.
Yeah.
Which is what I was going to come on to. You work at Bull Street. You do a lot of Bull Street videos. Quite a character on the majority of them. Were you and James talking balls every week?
Yeah, talking balls. Yeah.
How has it come about, and how much are you enjoying working at Bull Street? Because I know obviously it's just growing and growing, Bull Street.
Yeah. So it was through the Fighting Cock. I met Matt, who's the owner, and I don't know how interesting this is for your audience, but they
get fed Bull Street stuff all the time.
All right, excellent. I met Matt, and I've got to be honest, I was off my pickle. It was at the Football the Football Bloggers Awards, FBAs, and the Fighting Cock had been nominated for Best Podcast. And we were over the moon.
Everyone off the pickle at that?
Yeah, I mean, I was just, I was hugging people, and everyone looked great, and it was all a very happy experience. We didn't win, and I was still overjoyed for some reason.
Who won? Anfield Rap?
No, some fucking prick. Bergkamp's Wonderland, an Arsenal podcast done on Skype, beat us.
I hate Skype podcasts because there's a massive delay in there between. So you ask someone, what do you reckon is the result of the weekend?
That's why I never. I never said. Right. I said I would not start one unless it was recorded in the same room.
Completely agree.
I think essentially I can understand why Skype podcasts exist because it's difficult to get people together.
Yeah.
You're at a massive disadvantage if you are using Skype, and if you do and still do it well, then kudos. Front Free podcast.
I was just about to say, I listened to it on the way here.
They do a great job despite being Skype, but I think one of the strengths.
It's just not the same though, is it?
It isn't.
We're sitting here with a beer, us free now.
Yeah,
it's class.
It's class.
Way to do it.
Class.
Class.
Yeah, I do. I love a regional accent. My missus is from Wiltshire, and I've started to develop a kind of a country twang.
Right.
Yeah. So if I start speaking in a,
I'll point it out for you.
What do you say? A Stokonian accent?
Stokonian.
I've not really got a Stoke accent because I grew up slightly outside of Stoke. Elle's got a true one. Yours is in a different league to mine. If mine is anything at all.
Do you know what this means?
What?
Kick a bow against where 82 boss.
The fuck did you just say? Do you know what you just said?
I'm still not sure myself.
Are you mugging
I've
me
heard
off?
that before.
Kick a ball against the wall and edit till it bossed.
Yeah,
but that was Stoke before. That was old school Stoke, innit? That's kind of fizzled out. I don't know if that exists.
It is fizzling out.
Yeah,
it is fizzling.
What were we talking about?
We were talking about you at Ball Street.
Oh yeah.
You're off your pickle.
Is it boring? It's boring, I think. All right. Well, so I did Fighting Cock. I met Matt. I was off my pickle. For some reason, he thought that I would be all right.
He offered you a job
at Ball Street. Eventually, he offered me a job. About a year later, I ended up working at Ball Street, and I get to write about football.
It's phenomenal.
I get to talk about
so jealous. Every time I log in on my office every day, I think, right, what we got here? I always think to Jay and my mate James Alcott, yourself. I think, fucking hell, you're speaking and writing and talking football for your job.
Yeah.
Always crosses my mind that.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
All I would say is, well, for me, I can't speak for James. There was a lot of work, a lot of time spent figuring out how to, to make a good podcast, and doing things like the 1882 movement at Spurs, which is kind of bringing like-minded fans together in order to create atmosphere. And it just sort of, I wasn't seeking it out, and it happened, kind of thing. But don't get me wrong, I'm fully appreciative, and we did a similar job. I did a similar job to you before.
Social care stuff, didn't we?
And as much as I loved it, and as valuable as it was, it's not the most exciting thing. It's quite depressing. So look, that's what I do now. I produce a weekly show. We do the Long Ball Street podcast. Download it. And
me, how many points?
Talking Balls is my baby. It's what I've been working on for the last 6 months.
Every
Thursday. Every Thursday it comes out, and essentially what's amazing about it is I get to sit down and look at what's happening around the world and just take the piss. Yeah, which is a lot of fun.
So do go and watch that if you don't already. Before every podcast, me and Craig usually send some questions across on WhatsApp. Say, what do we want to talk about? What do we speak about? When I said you were a guest, Craig said he was interested to know what you think of Stoke as a club.
Yeah, I'm obsessed with the perception of other fans.
Every time we speak to someone, this is what Craig asks.
I'm
obsessed.
Like,
what do they think of Stoke?
Yeah, because I mean, you can be completely honest. You don't have to be kind for the sake of it. Growing up, your perceptions and memories of Stoke, insignificant? Did you ever care? Now we've established in the Premiership, do you carry them? I mean, what do you think of Stoke as a club?
I think of Stoke as a kind of middling, hard-working, spiteful, bit of a kind of workman-like football club, and that's based on my first memories, like I said, about the Port Vale game.
Yeah.
But also the fact that you got into the league with Pulis, who played a certain brand of football, which was completely understandable and functional and the right way to play in order to maintain.
I like that. I do like that because Stoke have had so much stick over the years when we were under Pulis, and it drives me at the wall still now. And I'm literally like, well, balls to all the other club, fuck them. We needed to do this to establish ourselves in the Premier League. What did you want us to do? Compete with Arsenal on the pitch? Beat Man on the pitch?
Yeah, fuck
We're
that.
going to do this. We're going to get Rory's thrown in there.
You have to play to your strengths.
It does wear even
This
now.
is the thing, right? So we get Spurs as Pochettino, Redknapp, AVB to a lesser extent, but then Pochettino. We get clubs come into Tottenham who sit back and try and hit us on a break, and Stoke did that successively, as we talked about that game when you beat us 1-0. And I don't think anyone who has been watching football for a certain amount of time can blame Stoke under Pulis coming in and setting up shop and being pragmatic about how they're going to get the most amount of points throughout the season. So that's how I viewed Stoke. I kind of saw it as like you were coming up. You hadn't been in the top flight in my living memory.
It's a generation missed top flight football. We went down in 84,
right?
I
So
think,
I would have been
and
free.
we come up in 2008.
I was 19.
So what the perception of Stoke as a club between 84 and 2008 was probably quite a small club. No one cared, really.
Yeah.
Why would they? We just weren't a top flight club. But prior to that, 70s top flight, early 80s top flight, 60s top flight.
I mean,
we
one
were
of
a
the
big club.
founding clubs.
Yeah, oldest. In fact, if Notts County get relegated
from
League Two, which I don't want to tap on,
we're the oldest in the football
We're the
league.
oldest football league club.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
1863. And I think they're 1862.
Well,
I think.
Yeah. So that's 1863. So that's a whole 19 years.
It's on the badge.
So
Yeah,
it's on the badge.
Stoke Ramblers.
Just because on the badge doesn't make it true. Fake news, you know about
news.
that. So that's how I saw it, and then it was like, well, what are you going to do? Pulis is playing his type of brand. He's never going to get you into Europe. It's always going to be about staying up each year, and at some point you have to make a change.
But
you've got to make the world a better place for you and for me and the entire. Forget it. So you had to make a change, and when Hughes came in, I was like, mate, all you've done is you've replaced one kind of pragmatic manager for another one. It just he's a draw specialist, doesn't score goals, doesn't concede that many. But he actually changed my opinion of Mark Hughes. My opinion of Mark Hughes was nothing. Literally zero. I didn't think good of him, didn't think bad of him. It was just purgatory. I didn't care. And then he comes to Stoke. Fucking Bojan turns up.
Shaqiri.
Afellay.
He's quite a lot.
Do you know what I mean? Arnautovic.
Yeah.
You know that I talked about this the last.
Did Pulis sign on it?
No, apparently it was in the background before we left, but Hughes finished it off.
But he's trying to do something, be a bit more attractive football, and it's a very difficult and dangerous thing to revert from something that works and it's functional to something that's a little bit risky but more entertaining.
Speaking on that point and the point of bringing in Bojan, Shaqiri, I'm worried now, and I don't know about how Craig feels. You know, Bojan's going out on loan.
Yeah, he's gone.
We're starting Pete Crouch up.
What's that all about?
We're starting Pete Crouch up top every other
Whelan and Adam are starting.
Whelan and Adam
you don't like Charlie Adam, do you?
Oh, we go in.
Yeah, I love it.
Spurs don't.
The geezer's a scumbag. He's a scumbag.
What's the origins of this? Because
do you not know?
He took out Bale several years ago. Is that right? I honestly don't know the challenge. I couldn't think of the
challenge. Have you seen American History X?
Yeah, good film.
You've seen it. So he more or less put Bale's head on the curb and stamped on the back of his head. That's what Charlie Adam did.
And then there's the
scumbag.
Is it Charlie Adam Rose? Why do we hate Danny Rose?
I don't know, because I
him?
think there's just a bit of a game at the Brits several years ago where he just was gobbing off a little bit, and the fans got on top of him.
And then it just went from there.
The rumour is he got subbed because he couldn't handle it.
That's not true. Danny Rose is the most steely human being on earth.
That's the rumour, and ever since there's just been a tiny bit of beef, but Stoke fans probably blame it.
Danny Rose has enemies everywhere.
Email us in if you do know why. Danny Rose contacted thebearpttv.com.
Yeah, well that's fine. Do that, but I won't. Don't forward those to me because Danny Rose is my favourite footballer.
Can I do something very quickly with Flav? I don't know what time we're on, but there's a game I love to play. I fire it off. Me and my dad play it all the time. Who is the bigger club?
Hide the sausage.
No.
With his dad?
No, we haven't played that for years.
I've done that.
The game is, I chuck a club at you. You say, in complete honest opinion, are they bigger or smaller club, in your opinion, than Stoke?
Right, go on.
Okay.
I feel a little bit like you're setting me up here.
No, it's fine. I'll take offence.
This is complete. I don't know what
this comes to me like that.
All
right. Nottingham Forest.
Smaller.
Right, good. Derby.
They're not, are they? They're not.
No, shut up. You said smaller now. Move on.
But wait. That's obviously I'm going to say that because they've been in the Championship for. All right, I'll do it again.
Carry on.
But that. All right, yeah, smaller.
Right, good. Derby.
Smaller.
West Brom.
It's the same.
Our gates are so much better. Aren't they? They got like 20.
I thought this was quick fire.
Way bigger.
Chef Wednesday.
Bigger.
Fine. Okay.
No, you're bigger.
What do you mean?
What have I done here wrong?
No, you're fine. That's your opinion. Yeah. Middlesbrough.
Bigger.
Any morale? You're chucking the mix.
Leeds.
Leeds are massive.
Yeah,
Leeds are massive. Yeah.
I'm gonna do one more.
Do Arsenal.
Arsenal.
Bigger.
Cheers. Okay.
Fucking hell.
I know the ultimate. The thing is that the Sky Sports and modern football are obsessed with the global brand because the global brand and Sky Sports go hand in hand. How can we syndicate Premier League football around the world? Because that's where the money is, and that's how all of our professional footballers get paid the money they do. That's how the agents get their fees, and that's how the clubs generate the money that they do. There's nothing wrong, and actually it should be perpetuated as an idea of what British football is about.
Yeah.
Teams like Stoke, Tottenham, Borough, Leeds. That's our culture and our heritage.
I agree, and I think the Stoke heritage got lost in the early stage of the Premier League.
Everybody's did.
Lost, and it was a shame because we like I said, second oldest club.
Get anaesthetised.
Yeah, you do.
Second oldest club in the Football League, and Stoke was just a massive. No one gave a shit, did they? Not that I want them to give a shit, whatever. But that no one knew or cared for Stoke for several years.
But I feel like, Craig, that it's important for you what other people think of Stoke. I don't give a fuck what people think of Tottenham. I want everybody to hate us. Like,
not that I care about the opinion. I'm just interested to know what the perception is.
Yeah.
I won't take offence or glee from either way, but I'm just intrigued to know.
There's one thing about Millwall Football Club that I admire.
FA Cup.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, we got Danny from Lions TV coming on our podcast.
But that was interesting.
I haven't done it yet.
Okay.
It will be. It is that their kind of moniker or their kind of claim to fame is no one likes us, we don't care. That's it. It's like fuck. This is ultimately a competition.
Don't give a shit.
Us and the rest of the world, us and the rest of other clubs. And I get the curiosity behind it, especially from Stoke because they've come from, League Two, or what was Division 3 football, and probably lower actually, to where you are now, which is an established club in the top flight, which is such a difficult thing to do. What you've done, what Stoke have done, is such a rare thing. No one consolidates in the top division these days, and you've done it. And Pulis and Hughes for changing the brand of football need to be commended.
And I wish some Stoke fans would appreciate that.
Yeah, but Craig, that's it with modern football. That's the type of fans that we have to contend with. The worst part of modern football is the other fans that surround you, because they want success. They're being fed success, and what they consider to be success is it's beyond what your club has been able to deliver.
Yeah.
Spurs fans have the same thing. We want our fans. Sorry, correct. They wanted us they want us to be challenging for the league now. Are we Spurs? Do you know what I mean? We haven't challenged for the league. We challenged for the league once since 1987, and now it's the go-to thing. I'm
in the pushing for success and think camp. I know a lot of people are happy to consolidate and be in this ninth place, and I'm never saying get rid of Mark Hughes. I'm spilling drinks on himself. I'm never saying get rid of Mark Hughes, anything along those lines. But I'm always saying I want something more. I want to see us have a good cup run. I want to see us get anywhere above 9. Yeah. I always have because we have so many people tweeting into the Barefoot TV, or whenever anyone ever puts a blog out saying anything, I want to see us get 7th, and it gets panned. Like, no, you should be happy for where we are. You should be. I always say, 20 years time, we've achieved 9th every season, or 10th to 8th, 9th to 11th, 12th every year. No cup run, nothing of note. How would you feel then? You'd be fucking bored of it.
Yeah.
I'd rather one season have a relegation scrap and survive, and have the fucking joy of that, than finish in the
it's almost like
nothing.
It's almost like you're on antidepressants.
Yeah.
And all the goodness is taken out, all the bad's taken out of it. I understand the frustration for that. I do.
100%.
And there's nothing wrong with wanting more. It's just understanding what you're capable of.
The Premier League isn't normality, is it? I mean, if you look above Stoke, bar West Brom, are we meant to also compete with Everton, Spurs, Arsenal, Man City, Man United, Chelsea? I mean, bar West Brom, how the hell are you meant to break that? Think of the money them clubs have got.
Then again, we've
massive
spent
clubs.
How much have we spent?
Still not in the same universe as the top 6.
Oh no,
no matter what
nowhere
happens.
near.
West Brom is the only one we could say we probably should be above, and even that's debatable because they're established themselves.
You're right. You're 100% right, and it's very rarely that I'm in a position where I think about it from a club like Stoke. You think, how much money do you have to spend, and how much risk?
And is it worth it?
Yeah, and how much risk do you have to expose yourself to?
I think Leeds are a relative comparison. They went for it, and look what happened to them.
Yeah, fully went for it.
Tits up.
And you know what? The only thing that's important to me, I want to win the league, but it's unrealistic for Tottenham to win the league. We'll win with a chance, but we have to spend, I think, an absolute ton, a couple of 100 million one summer, not, regardless of how much you make or
See
transfers.
What happened the fucking year when you spent the Bale money?
Yeah, but we didn't spend any money. We sold Bale.
You didn't. That's what I'm saying. You didn't actually spend any. You got just recouped the fee.
We haven't spent any in about 12 years. We're on mine. We've actually made
net spend. Net spend argument.
But it is. You're fucking right. It is. I'm not saying that's a good thing. I'm saying go and spunk some fucking money. Spend 200 million on some prick who doesn't care about Tottenham but gets us into the challenges for the league. Dybala, I'm obsessed with that prick.
He's fucking amazing.
He is incredible. But how much is he going to cost? Fucking 160 million or whatever it is.
Bill,
160 bills. It's a difficult one, and it's
football's weird.
It is tough.
It's weird. I go because I get to sit with my family, my brothers, my dad, my uncle. I enjoy having a beer with my mates. Win, lose or draw, I'll still go whatever division we have. That's what I enjoy.
Yeah. Craig,
if we have success, bonus. But whatever.
The only difference between us is the fact that you support Stoke and I support Spurs.
Yeah.
I'll go with my 5 brothers or 4 brothers, mainly my old man. We go and watch Spurs.
Exactly.
That's it. And it doesn't matter where we are, we'd still do that.
Yeah.
One thing I did want to mention because last season when me and you did a collab for the channel.
Yeah.
This carton thing always gets mentioned.
Yeah. Well, it's a real
I want to just rule it out now. It is not a Stoke tradition.
I'm not fucking. I'm not coming in making shit up.
What's carton thing? I don't know what this is.
So is this because Craig hasn't probably heard this before, so we can test the waters with him. Right. When in Stoke, is it a tradition to go to a pub and then you leave on your way to the game, to the ground, and they put your ale in a carton on a string that you take to the ground?
You've changed some of the facts.
Oh, go on then. What's your version?
Well, there is. So can you buy from some pubs a milk carton, emptied out but filled with cider or ale or whatever you want?
No, I don't know. Who thinks that's the case?
Flav.
It's
just because of his one mate who went to a student pub and they did that. Do you know he thinks it's a Stoke tradition.
Do you know what's sick? Is the fact that I know more about the culture in Stoke than you two.
You know what?
And all the people that listen to this podcast, apparently it's like I've made it up. I haven't made it up. It happened. It's real. You two need to know a little bit more about your culture.
If that was the case, I'd be on board with that. That's class.
I'd be on board.
I'd be playing on the way to the ground, definitely. But I've never. If that was a thing, I'd be on it. But I've never experienced that in my life. Never heard of it.
White Star, did they do that?
If they're listening, get some cartons in.
That's not a Stoke.
That's not a thing.
That's.
It's
just a student bar that
say
your
whatever
Tottenham
you want.
supporting friend went to.
Say whatever you want. That's the fact. You just don't know your own country.
I'd love it to be a thing, but
I'd fucking love that to be a thing. It'd help out so much.
Go to the right pubs. It's a thing.
One pub. Before we get into speaking about the game this weekend, I personally wanted to speak about one more thing that's happened yesterday. Is in the news currently. This pie thing from Sutton last night.
Yeah.
Wayne
Shaw.
Yeah.
I wanted to get your guys' views on it first because I'll fucking bawl on about this because I know a lot. Because obviously I work in the betting industry.
Yeah.
And I know a hell of a lot of what's gone on.
Yeah.
But what your guys' thoughts? Obviously now he's resigned from the club as well.
Is he resigned?
He's resigned.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. He's had to resign.
So just for those that don't know, it's the subkeeper, whatever.
He ate a pie live on air.
And the rumour was there was a bet.
Some bets were offering 8-1.
Which obviously you can't do in sport, can you?
Well, no, it's spot fixing.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, my opinion is, from the betting point of view, that is spot fixing. You can't do it. But from another point of view, if I was
the thing that's going on is like he's a hero. Like, this is what happened after the game. He came out. He's a legend. Eating a pie on the bench.
My biggest thing is, if I was the Sutton chairman, manager, players, fans, I'd actually be a tad embarrassed that that's going to be the lasting image of this heroic cup run.
100%.
Because it is. That's what's dominated. He's been dominating all week. He's been doing Sun adverts and he's doing a penalty shootout, I think, of Ian Wright. The lasting imagery from this heroic cup run is their sub-keeper eating a pie on the bench, and that's a shame, I think.
Absolutely.
Outside of the betting thing, it's a big shame.
Absolutely. Flav?
I mean, like, you're a big fat bloke
who's expected to eat pies.
I think he yeah.
I think I get where you're coming from, but from his perspective, it's like this is his opportunity to make some dough.
I know why he's done it.
Yeah.
If I was a Sutton fan, I'd be pissed off.
Sutton fan? You mean like the 800
Sutton
fans? Real fans there?
Yeah, because it means
all
a
the
lot
other
to
pricks
them.
that just jumped on the bandwagon.
Tim Vine was one of the punt.
I mean, he may go. I don't know if he goes or not.
I don't think he does. He was struggling to name half the players.
Of course he doesn't.
But no, I think. But jokes aside, them 800 true fans.
Yeah, they're going to be.
Their support means as much as ours does to our clubs. And yeah, I'd be a bit.
Yeah, they would be fun. But bearing in mind, this is guys who knows Sutton. Like
he sleeps at the club 3 nights a week,
so he can clean up and do all the shit. I just think whoever it is, I think the people to blame. I don't know if I can say this on your pod, but I'll say it in complete bit. Some better people to blame.
100%.
Okay, good. So they if anything, they've exploited the position of someone inside a football club, big fat reserve goalkeeper who needs money.
Yeah.
Who could do with the 20 grand or whatever it is that his mates made off that bet.
Yeah.
You know, so like all power to him. No, sorry. Oh, actually, no, fuck it. If he saw an opportunity and he needs to make some money for himself and he's in a bad situation, or this could set him up and he could get a mortgage on a place, then so be it. I get what you're saying about the romanticism.
But he's done it at the expense of the club.
Yeah, he does. He has, but it's like I wouldn't do it, but I can understand how this has happened. The biggest pricks here are Sunbet. Go on, explain. What's the deal then?
Well, it's all been staged. This whole thing has been staged. I got in a big thread argument on Twitter today with different people because as soon as it happened, I saw the bet earlier in the day and I said, before you get sharing these fucking images of a lad eating a pie thinking it's a right laugh and he's a legend and a hero, just remember this is all staged by Sunbets. Not only did he eat the pie, come up off the bench in view of the cameras to eat the pie. It's not like he just sat on the bench having a nibble, eating a pie as you would. He's come into view so it could happen. He's come out and said after the game that he was aware of the bets. Like he's aware of the market. He's aware of people having bets on it.
Could it be though that Sunbet didn't ask him to do this stuff, or is this me?
Oh, no. It could be, but he's still aware of that bet is available.
And what's the problem with that?
Well, he's affecting the outcome of a bet. So he knows the result. He says he's told people to put money on it, gone and done it.
See, the geezers have limited intelligence. He's not.
Oh yeah, probably.
And what's going to happen to him? Do you think?
Well, he's under investigation right now.
You can be arrested for that sort of stuff, can't you?
It could get done, yeah. And it'd be good to see if the Sunbets pay that off.
Yeah.
Pay off his fine or whatever he may get.
Because the exposure that Sunbet have got at this would the fine be
huge. This is why I don't think I don't think he's done it out on a whim. I don't think he's done it by accident. I think Sunbets have asked him to do this, paid him a substantial amount. Whose name is everywhere now? Sunbets.
Yeah, I didn't even know they had a bet.
Yeah, likewise.
Exactly.
Now I do.
And now they're
I'm going to use them.
now they're names.
As soon as I get off this, I'm going to
open an account.
I've never won a bet in my life.
But yeah, I think it's all been staged by Sunbets at the expense of a man.
I hope
who's now lost his job.
Yeah, I agree. I hope he doesn't. Well, I mean, he's already lost his job, but I hope nothing more happens to him in a negative sense because he's taking advantage.
100%.
I mean, fuck, he's already lost his job. What more
completely tarred Sutton's FA Cup run. This is all he'll be remembered for now.
Yeah.
And he's lost his job at the expense of a gambling company who's now got their name out everywhere. That's how I look at it.
Scumbags.
Yep. As if we didn't know already.
I mean, they're not very relaxed in football in world in general, are they? Anyway.
On every level.
I just wanted to get that off my chest.
Fair enough.
So now we go on to this weekend's game. We're playing Sunday at 1:30, which I don't like these 1:30 games.
No.
12 o'clock. It's like being at a party and because everyone's drinking beer and everything, and then someone gets the news that the nan's died. It's just like oh god.
Yeah,
like,
the realisation.
You're trying to enjoy yourselves, but
you got work.
You know,
tomorrow.
you got work tomorrow.
At that point, you power through.
Yeah,
you find more.
You try
and eat more and power through.
But off the back of this, obviously you've just come out of a 3-0 win in the FA Cup.
Yeah,
Hurricane hat trick. We've been on a warm weather training camp in Dubai.
Nice.
Yeah, it is fucking nice. Lads have been playing golf the lot. Have you had many of these mid-season before? These warm weather training camps?
Yeah, a couple.
And what do you make of them?
In this season, we went to Barcelona.
Watched the game?
Yeah, I don't know, man. They're just pissing about in that. I mean, the club are sending out images of the players in Barcelona walking around, and you're just thinking, I don't want to fucking see that. I'm in the middle of London, just typing on the key. I mean, you're doing something completely. You know, that's what I'm saying. You're looking at these millionaires are being given. I don't know. It just winds me up a little bit. Yeah. Did Stoke? I mean, I understand it's a little bit grimmer up north. You know, Stoke is a little bit, just a bit. The rain clouds sit a little bit lower in Stoke. A little bit low,
but Dubai's Dubai, and it's still lovely.
Yeah, it's actually been raining in Dubai.
Has it?
Some of the players have said, the weather wasn't what we wanted.
Fucking right. I think it's good. It's good in terms of actually preparing for a game. It's probably a good thing that Stoke have had the break 2 weeks, without a game, and that's all important in the Premier League. Spurs
and you're also going to play on Thursday. Is that right?
Yeah, we're playing Ghent at Wembley.
So you're going to play 3 games. Is that right? 3 games in between our... Yeah. Well, no games. Is that right?
Yeah. We'd have played
Fulham, Ghent. Yeah.
We played Ghent
two
away.
games.
2 games.
2 legs Ghent, then Fulham FA Cup. That's got to be significant, hasn't it?
Yeah.
3 90-minute games towards no games.
Yeah. And we played full-strength teams in those.
Yeah.
And I'd imagine we'll be playing a full-strength team in the game on Thursday.
1-0 down?
Yeah, we are. But, I mean... If we lose to Ghent, and we had a guy on our podcast who watches the Belgian league for a company called Football Radar, which is a statistic and analysis company.
Yeah.
And he said that if Spurs play their full strength team, Ghent have absolutely no chance, and we pretty much did in that game when they beat us. But I think I would say home, but we're at Wembley, which isn't going to help Tottenham.
I hate still at Wembley in the Europa League. I didn't know that.
Yeah, we sold like 85,000 tickets.
That's impressive.
Well, they're 5 So,
but even still, 85,000 for Europa League.
I hate it. I absolutely fucking hate it.
And you've got it for a while. Is that correct?
Yeah, all of next season as well for all of our home games.
You're actually moving properly next year, aren't you?
Because they're finally finishing the stadium next season.
So this year's your last year, weren't they?
Yeah. We'd have played 3 games, and it was an important thing because Stoke will have had the rest, and ultimately, as we've seen in the Premier League. In recent times, sort of energy and pressure is such an important thing. So I don't know what's going to happen, although I would expect us to win at home. We haven't been beaten at home. We've conceded 5 goals all season.
Fucking hell.
We have the best...
5?
Yeah, 5 goals
That's
at home.
That's immense.
Yeah, and 2 of those were in one game.
We conceded 4 against you in one game at home.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. I mean, it swings and roundabouts in football, but
that is impressive, isn't it?
When essentially when Alderweireld plays, we don't concede. That's the rule of it. And he is that good.
Is he fit at the minute?
Yeah, he's completely fit. Yeah, he's completely 100% fit. And Vertonghen's back. And when those
that's who was in. I was thinking.
Yeah, he started against Fulham at the weekend. When Alderweireld and Vertonghen play, I can't see, unless you get a free kick or something, you're going to struggle to do that. It's whether or not we'll have the energy to press you in the way that Pochettino's system demands. But that said, it's just a game, and Stoke can come up and turn up.
We've got Saido Berahino thinking about starting.
Really?
Obviously, well, this is what he said in this warm weather training camp. He's now targeting a start. He's come on in the last couple of games. He didn't come on in the last game. We were already winning, and we just saw the game out. He came on the couple before that.
I mean, he's probably had what combined 30 minutes game time so far.
Yeah,
roughly.
about that.
Yeah,
and obviously you guys courted him as well. Apparently,
I think we were part of the problem.
Yeah,
massively in the first instance.
Levy and all that. Yeah.
So, is it written? Do you think it might be written for him to come and fucking score against you?
Yeah. I mean, football fans love a narrative. Media loves a narrative. Yes, I mean, he could probably come in and score 2 and Stoke wheel away and win. No, probably not. It's a weird one with him because when we were originally interested, I was like, yeah, that's good. He's a young player.
It was closer to when he just banged in 21 goals for West Brom.
The Tottenham interest and the prices quoted were probably justified in this market.
25 mil, yeah.
Definitely justified. What did he get, like 20 odd goals and
21 goals
How much
in the
did he
Premier
sign
League.
for?
We signed him for 12.
12.
That's madness, isn't it? And
Well,
it just shows you.
6 months to go on a contract.
Yeah.
He'd have been free in January.
So he wouldn't have come to Stoke.
So it's still probably in terms of pro rata around the same amount of money, 25 million.
Yeah.
He is an undoubted talent. He really is, but his issues are outside of football.
Yeah.
And it's a shame. I always have sympathy for footballers when they get caught up in situations which are detrimental to their career because they're human beings.
Yeah.
And the reports that he was into drugs isn't surprising to me because rich young men generally.
I would.
I do regularly, but it's just I'm not saying I'm rich. I'm not at all, but I still find a way.
But then he come from a really difficult upbringing, a war-torn country, and he moved there, and all of a sudden he's a millionaire.
Yeah,
it's a very precarious, difficult position to find yourself in.
It's so easy to judge footballers and think, all right, Saido Berahino is a bad person because he's taken drugs and he's a professional footballer. No, what
drug it was?
I think it's Ease, which you can understand. I've got a job from Paul Street from Ease. Is that going out? Yeah, probably.
Yeah, probably.
Anyway, so that's not true. Anyway, it's hard work and dedication that got me a job at Paul Street. So look, I have massive sympathy for him, and I think Tottenham contributed to his downfall, and the fact that we walked away from that transfer didn't help him at all, because ultimately you saw the fact that signing for a club like Tottenham when we were in the up, you can understand how he was attracted to that, and negotiating between Levy and the other guy, I can't remember the chairman of
Pearson, isn't it?
Jeremy Pearce.
They broke down and become personal, and Berahino was the one that suffered there. I think you've got a great player. It's just Hughes needs to figure out mentally what it is. Yeah.
So what are your expectations for the rest of the season? Because obviously you're still in the FA Cup, you're still in the Europa League, still challenging. Would you say challenging in the Premier League for the title?
No, I mean we're 12 points, 13 points I think behind Chelsea, and they are steamrolling everything.
Absolutely.
So no, we're not challenging, but we've got to qualify.
Still 2 cups.
Champions League
is the main priority over the cups.
Not for me personally, but for the football club, yeah. I mean that's what will happen.
I understand that dilemma, that split, but yeah. Cups all day.
I don't care if I finish 6th.
Yeah,
I don't care about that.
You tell your fucking children you finish 4th one, as opposed to win the FA Cup.
Yeah,
that's
we did do that. We did. I mean, we've got memories of Peter Crouch scoring against Man City.
Yeah,
we should speak about this. Our
paths.
Love for Peter Crouch.
Just I love him. He's fucking god.
Everyone loves him.
He's a big, tall, freaky god.
Was he genuinely loved at Spurs? Because he started all right, but his later kind of seasons, he wasn't that prolific in any sense, was he?
He started at Tottenham. So he started at Spurs. He was a youth product of Spurs and was sold to QPR, and we thought we'd never see him again.
Yeah.
We signed him again, and he had the role in us qualifying for the Champions League. He's thought of now that his spell is over, as an important figure, a part of our rise to where we are now, because Spurs, I've benefited massively as a Spurs fan from the work of everybody inside that football club over the last 10 years. We're lucky to be in the position we are, because we shouldn't be in this position. Daniel Levy, he's done some bad things, and there's things I'll never forgive him for, but ultimately he's engineered the fact that we're in a position where we should be thinking about the league. And Peter Crouch was a part of that.
Yeah.
He just couldn't shoot a football from a standing position. It's like, have you ever seen him hit a shot from outside the box?
Man City,
Whoa.
Yeah, we bloody
Sorry, yes. So he has moments of unbelievably brilliant magic.
Yeah.
But then, just
not a standing shot.
Yeah, it's a weird one because his legs.
I can't actually think of a standing shot outside the box to.
It's usually on a
header
volley
or a cross.
Incoming. It's in the air.
So you've got that and that amazing goal against Man City, which is one of the best I've ever seen. I just love the fact he's still playing. He's an amazing human being as well. So amazingly personable human being, I should say. He's
a lot
somehow
of people can relate to.
Yeah, because basically he's a professional footballer who I've seen eat off his nut in Ibiza. That is real.
Crowd surfing at a Kasabian concert.
There's no reason he can't play until he's in his 40s, because he never had pace.
He doesn't move.
Yeah.
He never had pace or mobility, so that's not going to...
Just hit it into him.
Yeah.
All you need to do.
There's no reason he can't
what do you
hit
think
stands.
As
Oh, yeah, but we love him, don't we?
We love him. I don't think he should be starting every game.
A few fans resent the fact
How old
he's playing 36 now.
35,
36. A few fans resent the fact that this 36-year-old is playing despite the money we've invested in the club. Bojan's left, and a few people are like, well, Crouch is now playing, and Bojan's gone.
Personally, I don't think that should be our philosophy. Starting a 36-year-old Crouch up front every weekend. I think he should be our plan B.
Yeah.
I think he should be what we revert to if it's not working. On the ground, Berahino up top, so to say.
I think he will.
That's what we should.
I mean, our plan B is Vincent Janssen.
He's not done great.
I mean, how did that happen?
No,
how is he, firstly, carved out a career as a professional footballer? Secondly, how's he ended up...
Would you prefer Crouch as a plan B than him?
Fucking right away.
Yeah, like I say, Crouch will continue to be an amazing plan B well into his 40s because I still think in some distant sort of reality, he's not a ridiculous call up for England purely because you need a goal. Who could you think better to turn a game last minute?
Oh, Andy Carroll.
Or Andy Carroll, yeah, I appreciate that sentiment
fit.
as well. Yeah, if he's fit. But I appreciate when subs really should be for plan Bs. And I can't think of many better plan Bs than Crouch, Carroll, and the rapper plan B.
Yeah.
Naturally. They're the three main plan B. But you know what I mean? I think if you're going to change a game, that's the sort of option you need to go to.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, Crouch and Van der Vaart forward pairing was one of the greatest
Big
I've
and
seen.
small.
I loved him.
I was thinking of a
Great
player
touch
actually.
for a
What player of Spurs and Stoke cross paths with? And Crouch is probably the one in it really.
Crouch
I can't think of many other players that have gone back and forth between the two clubs. Really struggling.
We haven't had any.
I think that's it off the top of my head. Let us know,
There must be more, but
there's got to be,
I
but
can't
not
think
in
of
recent
them.
memory anyway.
I can't think of them. So we're going to end it there. Beers are running dry. That's always what we use as the excuse to end the podcast.
Yeah, I've run out of beer.
Yeah, we've run out of beer. You were literally just emptying.
I'm gonna
tin,
go-
You said it almost like payment as if the beer's run out of my mouth.
Yeah, I'm going to the pub now. Do you want a quick
Yeah,
pint?
we'll come to the pub. That is the Bear Pit Pod. Make sure you do leave us a review on iTunes, like if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe if you don't already, on SoundCloud. Make sure you do go and check out The Fighting Cock. Where can they find you, Flav?
They're Stoke fans.
Just in case.
Okay. Love the shirt on Twitter.
Yeah. And all the rest.
Yeah.
And all the rest. In case you do want to go and watch The Fighting Cock or
Deserves
subscribe,
us.
listen. Thank you for watching /listening, and we will see you next time.